father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Africa, tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon Javan Okello, live from Seattle, Washington.
Thank you again for being here with me. Today we have a proverb from Tanzania, and I'm just going to share it in a moment. But really, it's Friday. It's Friday here in Seattle, Washington, and we normally come in here in the African Father in America Club every single day for a long time, since January until actually this Monday we started, this Sunday, not Monday, this Monday we started doing this room at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But from January, we've been doing it at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And whenever we come into this room here on Clubhouse, we believe, and I truly believe that we are making our ancestors proud. We are making our African ancestors proud because we are discussing African proverbs, and we are also dissecting them in a way that we are gaining African wisdom by the end of our room. So every single day when we gather here, everyone shares their interpretation of the proverb, and after that we learn in ways that we've nourished each other, and we've extended our community now, where we are not only doing this show on Clubhouse. As we speak, we are also live on YouTube, and people over there are also engaging with this conversation, which is really important because if something is good, you have to share it with other people. So the proverb today is also my latest Instagram post. If you want to engage with it, that's the best place to find it. I'm also going to be live tweeting during our conversation today. So in case you are on Twitter and you love using Twitter, it would be a good way for you to, just check out some of the comments that are coming out of this conversation and engage with us over there. The proverb today from Tanzania says, "To be without a friend is to be poor indeed. To be without a friend is to be poor indeed." This proverb is really profound, especially coming today, in the midst of what just happened in Afghanistan. I don't know if you are all watching the news. Even if we leave Afghanistan alone, right now, the pandemic has come and it sustained itself in ways that we've seen with our own eyes, how people are living their last days alone in places where their family members cannot even access them by phone, and some of these people are people who had so much money, they wrote so much in their wills, they amassed so much wealth, but when you're alone at that moment, you feel poor, you feel lonely, you feel that you've been abandoned. And so this proverb really reminded me of the importance of sustaining friendship. Not only with your immediate community, but finding pockets of friendships even far away from your own community. Because a lot of the time when you're in need, you find that help comes from very, very unexpected places. For example, with the Afghanistan situation, who knew that Uganda would be amongst the first countries to offer refuge to Afghan refugees? As we speak, there are over 2,000 Afghan refugees that are now arriving in Uganda, where they're going to be hosted, as long as there is instability the way it is in Afghanistan. And so I just wanted to share this to remind us that we should invest time in cultivating friendships, and really, to simplify it, friendships can also just be within ourselves. What kind of friendships are we cultivating with our own bodies? What kind of friendships are we cultivating with our own minds? What kinds of friendships are we cultivating with our own careers? So those are some of the thoughts that came up for me when I picked this proverb from Tanzania for our session today. Typically, every Friday when we gather here in the Daily African Proverbs, we also center our French-speaking brothers and sisters of African descent who are all over the world. So if you're a French speaker and you'd like to join us on stage, please feel free to also interpret this proverb in French. We would appreciate that. But I do want to quickly just welcome you all, starting with my brother the Kikombe, starting with the amazing Zizi, Jess, Sudha, Samantha, Imani, Tara, Happily, Chioma, Mama Yama. It's really nice to see you all. Loic, I see also that we've been joined here by Loali. Thank you so much for being here. Willem, Cyril, and Raima. We are discussing a Tanzanian proverb that says, "To be without a friend is to be poor indeed." Remember, we are live streaming this conversation on YouTube as well. And the channel where you can find it is Simon Javan Okelo. If you want me to DM you the link, just send me a message by saying YouTube on my Instagram, and I'll be able to DM you the link where the live is happening. Then right after this room, my brother the Kikombe and myself are going to go live on Instagram to recap our conversation today. We will talk about what stood out during today's conversation. We will talk about what was surprising, and then we will talk about the biggest lesson from today's conversation. So welcome, and with that, I am going to introduce my brother, the Kikombe. Also, his real name is Siaji Otieno. Siaji Otieno says that in a world where you can be superhuman, smile at the people around you. Love is the power you can bestow upon people. The Kikombe is an educator, he's an amazing father, and he's just a loyal brother, and I'm just grateful to share space with you today. I do want to give a special shout out to Happily. It's been a while since I heard your voice, so if you have time, join us on stage. And Samantha as well. Those are two people that are very key to the growth of the Daily African Proverbs. My brother the Kikombe, share with us your interpretation for today's proverb and guide the conversation for the next few minutes.
Brother Simon, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for such a lovely proverb. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being consistent. It's been 7 or so, probably 8 months of consistency, of having our African ancestors represented at 6 a.m. Pacific time, previously 7 a.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Southeast Bangkok time, previously 9 p.m. Southeast Bangkok time, and 4 p.m. East African time, previously 5 p.m. East African time. I appreciate this, and like I said earlier, it is such a privilege to be here. I learned so much in this room. If you're new in this room, you will notice that there are 4 things that stand out. I apologize if I am repeating this, but the most important thing that stands out for me is unity. We speak in one voice, and we speak in one voice, and our voice is the voice of the ancestors, our African ancestors. We listen with the intention to understand further. We listen to others' interpretation so that we can understand their interpretations rather than to just respond, agree, or disagree with their interpretations. We are patient. Lesson number 3. We wait in line, we listen and wait. Sometimes When somebody has shared, you will see that they will be moved into the audience. It's okay. Um, a lot of times we will do that so that we create time and space on stage for those people that want to share further, because we understand that so many people want to share. Last lesson is consistency. We have members that are here every single time. Almost every time I am here, I see the same members. They share common narrative every single day. And like I said in our first lesson, the common unity is the African ancestors' wisdom. Today's proverb is my profile picture. If I haven't done it, I apologize. It must have been internet hitch. Is my current profile picture on Clubhouse, and it's a proverb that comes from Tanzania, and it said, "To be without a friend is to be poor indeed. To be without a friend is to be poor indeed." When I looked at this proverb in my head, and knowing that today is Friday, in my head I thought, mais c'est vrai. Like, it's true. That's what it should be. Like, if you don't have friends, you're absolutely poor. In my head, I thought it was a very, very obvious situation. But then I thought, every day when I come in here, there are people that have so many diverse interpretations for what our ancestors were sharing with us. And so it woke me up and it said, rather than thinking what other people will say, let them say it. So before my interpretation for today's proverb, I have the pleasure of introducing, this is somebody who is based in Brooklyn, somebody who has a flag that has got green and white and green, red, yellow, and green. Totally diverse person just by themselves. It says Nigeria by way of Ghana. He says it is in the small details make good trouble. He has a podcast and he's a podcaster, very brilliant speaker. He taught me the acronym SAHD, Stay at Home Dad. Is a host of the White Label American podcast. Is a guest co-host in You Don't Know Africa Trivia on Clubhouse. Is an immigrant, big-time nerd. I know that he has served in the forces as well. But he says, I am here to network, to learn, to grow, to meet potential guests for his podcast. So if you have a podcast, check him out later. White Label Podcast is a platform for breaking down artificial walls via stories from mostly immigrants, reclaiming who is American. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm not talking about LeBron James. I'm not talking about Michael Jordan. I'm not talking about Lionel Messi or Nelson Mandela. I am talking about Raphael Harry. White Label American Podcast. Tell us your interpretation for today's proverb that says, to be without is to be poor indeed. Brother, microphone is yours every day.
Thank you, my brother, for that. This is the type of introduction we call 7 stars in Nigeria. We just go like, man, I'm introducing me everywhere. But now I'm feeling like one of these. I feel like the president of Nigeria right now. I wish I was wearing my brother. Thank you very much. Please, can you hear me loud and clear, because I'm standing by buses, so I can move from the buses right now because I'm in commute. So, do I sound good?
While we can hear you, but there's a lot of background noise there.
Okay, let me just take 5 steps away, and it should be much clearer.
Okay, it's getting better now.
Much better? Okay. Yeah, I'm almost just second. Yeah, like all the bus drivers want to hear what I'm about to say. So everybody's coming close.
All yours, champion, all yours.
I hope everyone's having a great Friday, wherever you are. And so today's proverb is a beautiful one as always. And my interpretation is just going to be simple. I'm not going to go with a story. Well, I might go with a story. I love going with stories. And for me, it's I always like using myself. Yeah. Sorry about that. Truck just came by. Everybody's just trying to make noise around me today. Okay, I found a quiet spot. I'm in the city, so New York City. I'm not in Brooklyn today. So everybody's noisy here. But yeah, here's quiet. Okay. So um, I use myself as an example. So this proverb says that to be without a friend is to be poor indeed. And I use myself as in there was a period in time, like I'm someone who tends to pull people, attract people a lot. And I used to think that I had friends, but I didn't. I don't think I had friends. So I consider myself as someone poor then because the interpretation then for me was that who was my friend? The only people who I was friends with were you had to be from my tribe, or you had to be from my city, you had to be from my bubble that created. So I intentionally pushed certain people away. You have to be from my religion. I was still religious then, if you believe in God. And you have to be from my church. So you got to be from my immediate environment. And by doing that, I intentionally kept people who would have been friends with me. Although there were once or twice where there were some cracks, like the story I told about the um, I don't think you were here the trumpet when the first person I called my best friend was a Muslim, which was technically taboo in my family. So the more I've gone on in life, I have discovered that I've added more people from outside of what was the norm to me growing up, earlier in life. And I've started to years ago I don't think I would have been cool with someone like Brother Simon. I would have said he's Kenyan. Why should I want a Kenyan? My circle. He has to bow to me. That's the interpretation I would have come with instead of saying, why can't I be friends with him? Why can't I learn from him? Why can't I see what he's about? And if he's preaching the wrong message, then I just walk away, you know? And so when I started changing my mindset to allowing people from all walks of life, people from different bubbles, merge with my bubble, I began to realize I'm no longer poor. I was no longer a poor person. And that's how my mentality changed for the better into the type of person that you all like to listen to today and you all are interested in talking to today. And that's how I no longer consider myself poor. It's not about the money in the bank for me. And that's where I go with for today's program. So that's how today's program speaks to me. And I hope it speaks to other people the same way. So I hand over the mic and I wish you all a great weekend. And I'm sorry about all the noise. I'm on my way to an appointment.
Uh, Brother Raphael, thank you so much. I know that you meant for your audio to be a bit better and be in a more quiet space. Um, but I feel you. I feel you. And the message gets home and it hits home. I think, based on what you said, I think the more people and the more sensible people you allow, the more sensible people you allow from diverse walks of life, and then more people you accept around your environment, the bigger you grow. You cannot be in a shell. Thank you very much for sharing with us. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. If the sun and the universe has given you a new wake of life, then thank you for being here. But I have the biggest pleasure to introduce this 85-year-old pot of wisdom. She is our fellow Egyptian Canadian, educated in the USA. She's a retired clinical psychologist and a spiritual healer with 35 years of experience. She says she intends to impact and inspire others one person at a time. One of her favorite quote from Rumi says, "Wear gratitude like a cloak, and it would feed every corner of your life." Another quote that she has says, "Only from the heart can you touch the sky." Every day when she speaks here, she has some phenomenal wisdom that flows with everything she says. I remember I remember when we had our previous proverb, she said, it's impossible to give a real hug to somebody on a wheelchair. And it's impossible to almost have absolute eye contact with somebody that's below you from a from a physical position. So let your inner child play. Don't be a fish. Sometimes it's okay to be a bird. I'm not talking about anybody. I'm talking about Zizi, Zina Mubaraka Gatit, our Egyptian Canadian, very, very wise person. Please share with us your interpretation for today's proverb that says, to be without a friend, to be without a friend is to be poor indeed.
Thank you so much, Brother Kikombe. I always love to hear you. And I think there must be a spiritual connection between me and Simon. Because this morning I was thinking about how grateful I was that I'm aware that I have to elevate my connectedness to my friends, family, and community, because it does give me a lot of happiness, joy, and a feeling of security, even health. It protects me from loneliness, which sometimes I feel being alone after my husband passed away. And it protects the even sickness, depression, anxiety. When you're connected, it elevates your self-esteem and empathy. You know, I get physically sick if I feel there's a misunderstanding or a break in connectedness with a friend or someone I love. So I don't know why, and
Hi,
that's why I
Ivna. I'm
decided to
just trying
take this
to add your name real
opportunity
quick here.
to
So
a
let's
bio.
listen in while I
Why
do that.
is it so difficult for
Yes, brother.
people to
Thank you so
How are you?
much.
voice
I'm
what
doing
they
great. How are
feel
you?
and the love they feel
I
to
am
their friends
fantastic.
and
Nice, nice to
connected
see
people?
you. Okay, let me
Like,
do this real
we
quick.
need to say to
Okay, sure.
ourselves, I love you, Zizi. And I should be able to say very openly and freely, I love you, Simon. I love you, Kukumb. I love you, Raphael. I love you, Samantha. I love you, Shido. I love you, Joanne. I love you, Livia. I love you, Johnny. I love you, Adam. You don't have a name under your face here. I love Suda. I love you, Tara. I love you, Choma. I love you, Tess. I love you, Mama. I love you, Ender. I love you, Bibi. I love you, Jess. I love you, Mr. Alawike, Sato, Christina, Sabi, Rahim. I love each one of you. And I wish we should be feeling free and not hampered by some of the Western mores that no touching, no kissing, no saying things that are emotional like us. Would we do that in Africa? So please feel free to tell me and tell everybody that you love them. We all love to receive love. I cannot imagine anybody not wanting to be feeling love. And sometimes I know you love me, but you don't tell me. And saying it out loud to yourself and to the person is very, very endearing and very comforting to the soul. So I encourage you all to tell the person next to you that you love them anytime. It doesn't have to be, very close, because we're all one. We're all human beings in human form, but actually divine. We're all one. We're only reflections of each other and reflections of our God. Thank you, Kikombo. Thank you, Simon, for allowing me to share.
Zizi, every time you speak, I feel like you're aiming for my bone marrow. Every time you speak, I feel like you're going deeper, deeper than my wisdom should be able to reach. And I appreciate that because it extends how far I should go with what my thought process should be. Thank you. I learned so much. Friendship and spiritual connection elevates connections to friends and to community. It protects from loneliness and sickness. And I like that you say that we should say, I love you. And those are powerful phrases to people around us. I can assure you that I will continue to say, I love you to people around me. I know I often say it to just people around me. And it's so weird because just the other day, I was in a podcast with one lady called Infinitely Mo. And she was sharing with me how their father told them every single day that they loved them. And I was telling her that my father said it, but they used a different kind of language in it. But I never for the longest time heard the actual phrase, I love you, even though it exists in my language. So thank you so much for sharing with us, Mama. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'd like to give my interpretation, and I'd like to say that it is becoming usual, but I am okay with it. It is becoming a habit, and that I share stories about living and growing up with poverty, but I feel that I'm confident that I am a human library. And so is everybody else who has gone through tough situations, and everybody else who has gone through phenomenal situation, everybody else who believes that their upbringing was extraordinary. I'm okay with sharing such stories. So if you've been paying attention the last several sentences, the of them, you probably know that I am about to tell you a story. And what you might be asking yourself is, how long is this story? I will give you a short story. This one is short. There's a person, let's call him Abram. Abram is born in a poor household, and at the age of 2, he is orphaned. At this point, you're already wondering, how exactly is this sad story related to the ancestor story about friends and poverty? But we have the word poverty in this story, so and friendship in the story, so bien fait, très bien fait. It's Friday after all, so déjà bien fait. Well done, the Kikombe. So Abraham, at the age of 2, grows up in one of the most uncertain places for humans to live and coexist in his 70s and 80s. He is raised by his uncle and the rest of his family. And I'm not going to mention that his siblings played a major role in his upbringing, because if you have been listening, you remember the story that I shared about Susan Auma Siaji. Now, in order to not bore you with the ups and downs and suspense and
Okay.
conflicts,
Can you say something? I just want to make sure I hear you. I finally managed to do it.
Abraham's journey.
All right. Is it good?
It's good.
Are
It's
you
good.
able
It's
to hear
good.
me clearly?
Operated.
Do you
Yes.
think the room will hear me clearly as well?
Oh, it's going to be perfect.
Pay attention.
So what we are going to do is, after the Kikombe speaks, I'm going to say something and then introduce you. Then you can just share your interpretation, and then we'll do what we did yesterday. Is that okay?
Oh, yes. And by the way, I emailed her this morning. I sent her my bio and a photo.
Okay. And you know, this is not that real interview that we plan to do.
I know.
Okay.
So she said that she doesn't have it scheduled yet.
Yes. So thank you for being here with me for this session. And again, feel free to always just do this. You know, you don't have to notify me. You can always, whenever you have time, you can always just join me. I appreciate it a lot.
Oh yeah, I like the YouTube, so it's pretty good.
Perfect. Great. Let's listen in.
I'm going to go ahead and underline the word human. As you head up in that ladder of success, if you lack being human, if you are not mindful, if peace does not have its place in your heart, you do not have friends. And it doesn't matter how high up that ladder, it doesn't matter how how many words and adjectives you put into that word called success, you will be lonely. And this is why you will find so many of people that are philanthropists, so many people that want to give back to the community are the ones that have the most. They have spent so much of their time looking down upon friendships. And when they get up there, they realize, look, I have it all. Now what? If you don't have friends, if you don't have friends, you are actually poor. Seek that wealth in friendship. I am the Kikombe. I would like to yield the microphone to our beloved brother, Simon, who gave us a really, really great interpretation on the importance of sustaining friendships. I appreciate what you mentioned about Uganda refugees and Uganda accepting refugees to cultivate friendships. Thank you very much, my brother Simon, because that's something that I had never thought about. Brother Simon, microphone is yours.
Thank you very much, my brother the Kikombe, for your kind words and for your leadership. And to everyone else in the room, welcome. Thank you for being here with us for another amazing session of the Daily African Proverb. I am always excited to be here for this amazing work that we are doing. This is not a typical clubhouse room. This is a sacred space for me, and this is a space where we bring in our ancestors, because these proverbs that we are discussing are not new. We are not the first ones discussing them. We are not the last ones that are discussing them. But how we do it determines how these proverbs are going to be useful for the foreseeable future. So if you're watching this conversation live on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're here with us on Clubhouse, thank you so much. And if you will be listening or watching it later on, thank you for supporting this important work. At this time, I have a guest on YouTube that is going to just introduce himself briefly. He was our guest yesterday as well, and we're just warming up to the real interview that we're going to have with my brother Ivna Durosu, who is originally from Haiti. He lives here in the US. He's briefly just going to introduce himself and share his interpretation before I introduce our next moderator here on Clubhouse. My brother Ivna, the microphone is yours.
Thank you so much, Brother Simon. It's always a pleasure to be with you all, my brothers and sisters. And this proverb is very powerful. To be without a friend is to be poor indeed. And I know that the word friend has lost a lot of its meaning with Facebook since 2005. And I'm sure a lot of you can agree with me. But before I go further in my comment, I'd like to read this text that was introduced to me many years ago in college. And the title is Reason, Season, or Lifetime. And it goes like this. People come into your life for a reason, season, or lifetime. When you know which one it is, you will know what to do for that person. When someone is in your life for a reason, it is usually to meet a need you have expressed. They have come to assist you through a difficulty, to provide you with a guidance and support, to aid you physically, emotionally, or spiritually. They may seem like a godsend, and they are. They are there for a reason, for the reason you need them to be. Then, without any wrongdoing on our part, or at any inconvenient time, this person will say or do something to bring the relationship to an end. Sometimes they die. Sometimes they walk away. Sometimes they act up and force you to take a stand. What we must understand, you need to realize that our need has been met, our desire fulfilled, their work is done. The prayer you sent has been answered, and now it's time to move on. Sometimes people come into your life for a season because your turn has come to share, grow, and learn. They bring you an experience of peace or make laugh. They may teach you something you never done. They usually give you an unbelievable amount of joy. Believe me, it's real, but it's only for a season. Lifetime relationships teach you lifetime lessons, things you must build upon in order to have a solid emotional foundation. Your job is to accept the lesson, love the person, and put what you have learned to use in all relationships and areas of your life. It is said that love is blind, but friendship is clairvoyant. Human connections are essential to the health and well-being. When you find that true friendship, thank the person whose presence in your life has made a difference. This is a powerful word, friend. And we know that many times you have some people in your life, they claim to be your friend. But the question is, are they really your friend? Are they really that person that you can rely on? Are they really that person that stands up for you when others try to hurt you emotionally, physically? Are they that person? A friend is someone that does everything they can to make sure that you stay safe. A friend protects you. A friend is there for you when you need them. And I want to touch base a bit about poor. And many times we think being poor is you don't have money. But no, you can be poor morally. You can be poor spiritually. So that friend can prevent you from being poor, can help you to be rich spiritually, rich morally. And I hope all of you here in this room can say that I am a friend to someone. I am a friend to someone that really needs a friend. Friendship is important, but friendship without love, true love, and care and kindness is just a Facebook friend. You may have 5,000 Facebook friends right now, but are these friends really your friend? Are they really the people who can support you morally, spiritually, when you need them? The last thing I want to say, be a friend. Your role in life is to preserve the existence of your friend, because your friend is your brother. Your friend is your sister. My name is Yves, and I have spoken for now.
Thank you very much, my brother Ivna. There's nothing I can say after that. I just want to, in the clubhouse room, I see my brother Johnny and Chioma tapping their mic. So you've touched their hearts with your words. And I want to welcome everyone who is joining us for the Daily African Proverbs. This is a room that goes on every single day, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I am just happy to be here. I want to introduce Samantha Udondem. Samantha is an amazing human being, leader, clinical research program manager, and a very big contributor to the Daily African Proverbs, especially on Saturdays where we have the little children joining us for the Daily African Proverbs. Samantha, share with us your interpretation of today's proverb, which is from Tanzania. And we have my brother in the audience here, Ali Abdallah, is going to share with us a little more of this proverb in Kiswahili as well. But I do want to let you all know that every Friday we center our French-speaking brothers and sisters. So if you're a French speaker and you're in the audience or on stage, just let me know and we will be able to give you a chance to interpret this proverb for us in French. At this time, Samantha, the mic is yours. Please guide the conversation for the next few minutes.
Hi, bonjour, everybody. That's the extent of my French, unfortunately. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I've been so richly blessed by the previous speakers who've come to share. I want to extend especially my gratitude to Zizi. I don't even feel comfortable just calling you Zizi. You are so much more to us. You are truly Elder Zizi. I thank you for your kind words, just your immense fountain of wisdom, the grace with which you speak, the heart with which you speak and you instruct us. I feel like I've been sat at your feet and just soaking in everything that you share today. And you've called me to really examine my heart and my actions and, really calling me higher in my relationships. So thank you so much for that. I do pray and hope that your son is doing better, as I do know that he was not feeling well. You know, right now I'm actually driving, so I won't have the pleasure of introducing other people just for the sake of being safe on the road. But I did want to share, the impression that I got the first time that I read this, or rather heard of the proverb today. The impression that I got was the image of the farmer. The farmer and his or her harvest. And, the farmer, with the intention of producing life-giving crop, will toil, will toil the earth, will, in and out of season, extend him or herself to ensuring that the seeds receive the nutrients and the environment that is ready and ripe for growth. And in bad season, in good season, in seasons of drought, in seasons of plentiful harvest, their work goes a long way to feed countless people. And just that impression of the farmer and liking it to our relationships and our friendships. It takes a lot of effort to really build lifelong relationships. And as many have spoken before, our Facebook friends, our, transient relationships, have consumed our day-to-day, that's somewhat what we've become accustomed to. But if we really, take time to take stock and to really examine the relationships that we have around us, I think we all desire those lifelong relationships that can carry us through whatever season of life that we go through. And, for me, it is a challenge. It is a call to really examine my relationships. Am I putting in the work that is required to produce the fruit of relationship, of friendship, that will sustain not just myself, but other people in good season and bad season? So those are my thoughts, like a good farmer. Let us, put in the work to cultivate and grow amazing friendships, whether they be, the friendships that are close by, or as we have been fortunate to um, experience, the friendships afar. So those are my thoughts. Wishing everyone a safe and wonderful day, and I will pass my mic back to Simon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samantha. I'm just smiling right now, because of how you articulate, your points, and I'm also smiling because of the response we are getting on YouTube as you are sharing. We had actually more people joining us on YouTube, and quite a few of those people are in the audience, and I'm just so grateful that you're all here with us. So, Samantha, thank you again, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Would you please share with everyone who is watching on YouTube and also in this room right now why the Saturday Daily African Proverbs are very important?
Yes. The Saturday session is super, super important because it's an opportunity for us to bring our family, our children, to listen and engage in, the wisdom that we're all enjoying. Really and truly, I have been blessed by all of the shares that, people who come on the stage. This is really a communal activity. And so for me, especially being someone in the diaspora and being a parent as well, it's so important for my children to see other other people from across the globe who celebrate our culture, who see wisdom in our words, and just to engage in this sort of, it's a pastime growing up in Ghana, to have family members, elders, neighbors to come together, share in wisdom, banter, but that sort of feeling can be lost in the West. So, this is like a virtual village in a way. And it is such a pleasure to have my children just participate, and also to have the children and the family members of other people who are on stage participating. So it's really a chill environment, chill Saturday. You can be, doing your house chores and just listening in, or if you have the opportunity to unmic and you have something you want to share, you can go ahead and share. So either which way, please do feel free to join in, and look forward to seeing or hearing from you tomorrow. All right, that's it.
Thank you so much, Samantha, and drive safely. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot. At this time, I'll pass the mic to Chido to continue guiding the conversation. Chido, Samantha, Mbavarira is truly an amazing leader. I've worked closely with Chido in producing virtual events here on Clubhouse, and I'm also working with her in a number of other business initiatives that I am leading. So Chido is an online business strategist by day, and she's also she loves being human on Clubhouse by night. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's another proverb that Chido lives by. Chido, please share with us your interpretation and guide the conversation for the next few minutes. And also, for those who are in Clubhouse, Ivna, who is right next to Chido, is my special guest on YouTube, just in case you want to know why he won't be saying much. But Ivna, could you just say hello to the room so that they hear your voice briefly before we go to the wonderful Chido?
Hello, friends. I'm so happy to hear once again. My name is Yves Nair. I love this room because I love the idea of changing the narrative of Africa, the entire continent, and here in America, and a lot of people don't understand. So the job that Simon and Samantha and the Kikombe and everyone is doing right now is amazing, and I'm so happy. I'm humbled to be part of it. So my name is Yves Nair. I'm an author of A Light Regardless, and you will see me very often here because I love this room. I enjoy it. This is my morning breakfast. So happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Ivna. Chido will pass you the mic. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm so sorry. My background is very noisy. We have a lot of construction happening around the house. So I will keep my interpretation to the end and keep it very brief. Today, this proverb has been one that I'm just enjoying hearing all the diverse perspectives. So I don't want to take up too much space. I'm enjoying hearing from a lot of people who come up and shared. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Joan. Joan Onyango Ubunga, welcome. Joan, I see here you say that you are here to connect with humans across all culture and that you're living a life as directed by the author and finisher. I love that line in your bio. That was very powerful. I'm excited to have you join us today on stage and share your interpretation of the proverb, to be without friends is to be poor indeed. I pass the mic on to you, Joan. Hi, Joan, are you there? We just can't hear you. You may have your mic on mute.
Hi, Chido. This is Simon speaking. Oh, yeah, she's also with us on YouTube, and maybe that's why.
All culture. Oh, absolutely. Yes. So if you can't speak, that's not a problem, Joan.
Thank you.
Are you able to speak? Oh, just tap your mic if you're able to speak, Joan, or I can go move on if you're unable to speak right now. Friends, it's for the pass the mic on to you, Joan.
Thank you very much, Samantha. I'm actually speaking from Nairobi, Kenya. Can you hear me?
Hi, Joan. Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Thank you. This is Simon speaking. Oh, yeah, she's also with us on YouTube. Hi, John. This is Simon. Please turn off the YouTube video that you have on behind you and just speak on Clubhouse for now.
Do that.
Thank you so much.
Can you hear me now?
Hi, Joan. Yes, we can hear you perfectly.
Oh, thank you very much, Samantha. My name is Joanne Onyango Bunga. I'm actually speaking from Nairobi, Kenya. And I've just bumped onto this chat room by virtue of Simon's name being similar to my dad. I lost my dad about 3 months ago, and that's what attracted me to the room, and also by virtue of my dad having been very big on the African tradition, and he always referred to that whenever we had a chat, whenever I had a challenge in life. So what I would like to say is friendship is something that I think we need to value, because amongst the Luo, I belong to the Luo tribe from Kenya. And we have a saying that even as you are relatives, blood relatives, you cannot sustain your relationship if you're not friends. So friendship is a big part of relations. It's a big part of life, and friendship is something that we need to cultivate, and we need to have love, even as we are blood relatives, to be able to, develop friendship and just have that closeness. I am big on relationships by virtue of my father really establishing friendships, even with relations. I remember growing up, even as we lived in Nairobi, I was an only child for a long time, but our house was always filled with relations who my dad, valued as friends first. He would have his brother's children coming over to live with us, and that was even seen when we were giving him a send off. There were so many people who came out to just give him a send off and say goodbye to him because of the friendships that he established. And these friendships were not only as a result of the blood relations that he had, but as a result of the friendships that he cultivated. So I think even as the human race, we need to continuously cultivate friendships, and that's why I agree with the saying that without a friend, you're poor indeed, because it's through friendships that you grow. It's through friendships that you're able to just reach, every, I'll call it, center of your life and everyone's life. Thank you very much. I'm new to Clubhouse, so I'm also trying to get my way around. So just excuse me if probably I've wronged or there's something that I didn't do well. Thank you very much.
Speaking. Joan, we appreciate you so much and welcome to Clubhouse. You handled it so well. I would not have known that you're new at all. You handled it like a pro, and I totally appreciate your interpretation. You spoke about cultivating and the importance of cultivating it, and I loved the beautiful testament to your father and the connection you have with Simon. When you said that you wanted to cultivate relationships, that's something I really loved that Samantha alluded to, in the importance of cultivating and putting work into those relationships that matter most. And I think even cultivating some relationships that are not as maybe as, now I don't want to say important, but maybe they're not your core people, because everything's about people. I always say business is about people, life is about people. If you want opportunities, it's about the people you have around you, and if you can make them friends, I'm sure you'll be very rich indeed. So I loved your sentiments about cultivating and pouring into people that matter to you most. I totally believe that to be very, very true. Thank you so much, Joan, for coming up and sharing your wisdom and knowledge with us, and for also joining us on YouTube. We appreciate you. Next, I have the pleasure of introducing Ali. Ali is an actor, humorist, presenter, and writer, guys, and he's based in Tanzania, one of my favorite countries. I really want to visit Tanzania so bad. Some fun facts about Ali is that he actually previously worked on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert. He's a journalist and looking for opportunities to give and learn. Ali, I hope you found yourself in the right place. This is exactly what we do here in the Daily African Proverbs Room. We got a beautiful proverb that Simon got for us today, and it says, "To be without friends, to be without a friend is to be poor indeed." I would like to pass the mic on to you. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Chido. Hi, everybody. My name is Ali. I really appreciate being here with you all. Thank you, Simon, for this room and for everybody involved in moderating and running it. I just want to say, I'm not sure if Aziz is still here, but I really appreciate it. Her presence and her energy, something which I feel now compelled to pass forward. So yeah, the proverb at hand, to be without a friend is to be poor. Simon said it'd be nice if I translated that in Swahili. In Swahili, that would be kuwa bila marafiki ndio umaskini. Some of you might have recognized Rafiki means friend. Famously, appropriated by Disney in The Lion King. And umaskini is being poor, which is, I guess it's a root from Arabic. Maskin means to be poor. The same word. Yeah, I really resonate with this proverb. I'm very happy that from a young age I was taught by my mom um, the value of friendship, and especially while growing up, just being able to play in the neighborhood, to be able to play with the kids in the street. That's before the street got tarmacked. It would just be like a dirt road, so it used to be a lot more fun. Being able to play football with those friends, and we've grown up to have such strong bonds. Just be able to making friends at school, um, at university, at work. I feel like it's such an important skill, and the openness to to be approachable, and to be willing to approach someone, and saying hello. I really do believe in in one way or another that really helps in making this world be a world without strangers. Um, so I really value friendship, and something which I learned recently. I'm not sure to what extent this will hold truth, but in some ways I feel like it does. I'll just share it with you, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and see how it um, um, feels with you. I heard that a friend is only a friend when you know where they live and they know where you live. I'm not sure whether this quote was started becoming, you know, uh, being told before the digital age, where now we're able to make friends with people across the world. But I guess the idea with that is, if someone doesn't see you in sort of in a community way, someone doesn't see you for a few days or a week or so, they can actually go knock to your house or to your family's house and see if we haven't seen so and so, and that sort of care and that sort of consideration, I think, is where that feat of a friend comes from. So thank you for taking the opportunity to allow me to speak. I really appreciate this, and I'm glad. I'm hoping to build many more friendship with people in the room here and beyond. Asante.
Thank you so much for coming up and sharing your interpretation today. I loved you underscored Rafiki and the meaning of friendship in the Lion King. That's where I learned what friendship was in Swahili. So you took me back. You made me very nostalgic for the relationship he has and his role he plays in the Lion King. So I appreciate you for that. But I really did appreciate your interpretation and your reflection of what friendship means to you. And that's why I love it when I get to sit back and listen to other people's interpretation. It just enriches my own understanding of friendship. And you definitely added value to that definition for me. Something that stood out in this proverb for me was talking about, not having friends can make you poor. And I think we can argue not having friends can make you very unhealthy as well. I think there's so much other benefits to relationships that can be in terms of health. You can call a friend on a bad day. They'll be better. A friend calling you on a bad day than any drug or any anti-aging supplement you can ever take. A friendship will do more for you than just about anything. I'm not even argue friendships are more important than money as well. So there's so much riches that comes from having a relationship with somebody who knows you as well as you know yourself. And it's not really the number of the friends you have, but the quality of the friendships that I feel is most important. So I think the ancestors here are really encouraging us to make time for our friendships, whoever they are really honestly a rare beauty to have in your life. And not everyone is as lucky to have great friendships. So if you're somebody who have amazing people in your life, whether that's a sibling, a neighbor, an elder, hold those friendships close to you. You'll be richer than anybody in the world. And I truly, truly believe that. And with that being said, that is my interpretation. I see some amazing people in the audience who make what we do so special. I see my sister Tess and Tara, my sister Tiff. I know Johnny was in the room, but I appreciate seeing you, Makuba and Roger and Doug and Patrice and Layla and Jess and Stephanie. We appreciate you so much. And Deanna, we've been doing this for a while now, and it's honestly brings us so much joy to come and start our day. Some people in the middle of their day, and some of us are ending it. But to do it with people who show up and want to pour wisdom into each other and themselves is truly a beautiful thing. I've made amazing friendships on this platform, and we've never met. I recently lost my brother, and it honestly was the friendships I had in the space that made it so hard in my life, but one that I can honestly say I could not have gone through it without the people in the space. So as much as Facebook has made following to be a loaded term, I don't take for granted the connections you can make virtually without even meeting somebody in person. I think that speaks to the power of the human connection and human bonding and how important it is to us existing in this world. So that's a very special thing. And with that, Simon, I pass the mic back on to you. I'm complete.
Thank you so much, Chido. I love how you said we should embrace our friends, because other people are just looking for the exact friend that you have that you might not be even happy or proud to share that so and so is my friend, So I agree that this Daily African Proverbs room has also given me a number of new friends. Like in January, I did not know Tess, I did not know Tiff, but now I'm always concerned about them. I want to find out how they're doing. And there's another proverb that says a friend is a person that you share a path with, And so I feel like we are sharing a path. The Daily African Proverbs is a path that we are all taking, some consistently, some once a week, some once a month, but we are still friends because we are taking the same path. So I want to pass the mic to the Kikombe to introduce for us Bib, Chioma, and Mama Yama. Bibi, I've been messing up with your name for a long time, but you're just so kind to me. I know that Beatrice Wiley is your full name, but I call you Bib, but I know it's supposed to be Bibi. So from today, I'm going to call you Bibi. But Bibi has a Kiswahili meaning too. I'll let you talk to Ali in the audience or someone else who knows Kiswahili to tell you, or I'll let you research on your own. So the Kiswahili Bibi is Bibi. I'll let you research. But the Kikombe, the microphone is yours, my brother. And just so before the Kikombe grabs the mic, for everyone who is in the room, this space is really open to all human beings. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your financial status. It doesn't matter which country you're from. As long as you're willing to help us make our ancestors, our African ancestors, proud, this is your space as well. So welcome. And we normally close hand raising at 6:30. So half an hour into the clubhouse conversation, we turn off hand raising so that we can focus on the conversation. Currently, this last week, we've been live streaming on YouTube at the same time. And we have a special guest who is going to just share with us his closing remarks before we end the room in the next maybe 5 or so minutes. But at the moment, just so you know, his name is Ivna. He's right below me in PTR order on Clubhouse. And I want to thank you, Tara, for joining us on YouTube. Joanne is also on YouTube with us. Raphael is also on YouTube. That's a White Label American podcast. And who else? The Kikombe is also on YouTube. So I'm just so grateful that we are able to really create a digital footprint of African proverbs every single day, but also impact people's lives every single day, one proverb at a time. We are changing the narrative about Africa. The Kikombe, the mic is yours.
Brother Simon, thank you very much. To everybody else who's joined us today, thank you very much. If you're new in this room, you will realize that there are so many intense conversations that we are having. We, every day, we get one African proverb and we get to dissect it and discuss and just share our interpretation for that. And today's proverb is to be without a friend. To be without a friend is to be poor indeed. To be without a friend is to be poor indeed. As Brother Simon said, this room strives to be a safe space for anybody, regardless of their nationality, gender, race, life preferences, age, and so on and so forth. So if you're new here, please feel welcome. Welcome. I do have the pleasure of introducing BB. BB is not new to this room. BB is a child of war. BB is a gardener. And by this time,
The Kikombe, this is Simon speaking. Please go ahead and introduce Chioma. I think we might have lost BB. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, yes, please. Please, sorry. Yes, we definitely lost BB there. But please allow me to introduce Chioma D. Chioma says, we will never have to be other than who we are to be successful. We realize that we are as ourselves, unlimited, and our experiences valid. It is for the best of the world to recognize this, if they choose. There's a quote from Alice Walker. Chioma says that she loves seeing Black joy, hearing our stories, and seeing Africans on the continent and throughout diaspora connect. She says you can call her Pan-African if you will, but she wants to see Africans connect with each other. Some of her interests and things that she dabbles with include books, health and wellness, tech, data and science, analytics, etc. And she's currently writing lessons on Python, which I'll be really excited to hear about. Chioma, please share with us your interpretation for today's proverb that says, to be without friendship is to be poor indeed. Microphone is yours, Chioma, a Pan-African sister.
Merci, Kikombe. And bonjour, everybody. I don't know a lot of French, but I'm going to use a little bit. I honestly, like my spirit, my soul, just this room and just the things that have been said has just like touched me in a lot of ways today. I really have to say merci to Zizi. I could not, like, I was just going to listen, and then after I heard Zizi, I was like, okay, I just have to come up. I have to come up and I have to say je t'aime to everybody in this space. Je t'aime to Zizi and to the people I haven't seen in like so long in this space. Johnny, je t'aime, and Kim, je t'aime. Tiffany, je t'aime. Chido, je t'aime. Simon, je t'aime. Kikombe, je t'aime. Everybody in this space, je t'aime. I honestly just listening to everybody just really made me think of like just the word friend. You know, the proverb didn't say coworker,
It didn't say neighbor. It didn't say sister. It didn't say brother. It said friend. So like, what does that really mean? What does that look like to cultivate friendship, and what does friendship really look like in like each of our lives? And just like sitting in this room, I don't know if I'm like, let me know if I'm able to share it or not, but like, I just feel like the universe brought me back to this poem that like I kind of wrote, that was inspired by my friend, that like I never shared with him, and just like I never shared with anyone. And just hearing like Samantha mention like farming, and just actually hearing about like cultivating friendships, it just brought me back to this poem like I wrote like literally almost a year ago, August 24th. Can I share it?
Yes, indeed. You
Uh,
can share it, please.
Thank you so much. Okay. Um, my black boy Joy, my farmer boy, I like the way you dig up the earth, the way you place seeds in it, the way you water it with hope, with faith. I love the way you take your time with things, the way you clip what needs to be clipped, the way you place the rocks above the soil, the way you build a fence to protect it. I like your laugh. I imagine it's what keep the flowers glowing. I like your spirit. I imagine it's what keeps the plants growing. My black boy Joy, my farmer boy, remember to always tend to yourself the way you tend to the earth. Thank you for your tenderness. And that's all. Thank you all. My name is Chim and I'm complete.
Wow. The Kikombe, please.
yeah, absolutely. Chioma, thank you so much for sharing that such creativity with us. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for sharing. Sorry, I had food in my mouth for a minute and I was trying to swallow so hard and listen at the same time. But I'm here now and I apologize for that mishap. Chioma, thank you so much for sharing that piece of creativity with us about the Black Boy. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. It's amazing that a poem that you wrote back in August of 2020 would come in place and shape itself after hearing of Zizi's wisdom so that you come and share with us. Thank you very much. We appreciate you and thank you for sharing with us. At this point, please allow me to, I'm not sure if BB is back on stage. BB, are you back on stage? Please, could you please blink your
Yes,
microphone?
I'm back.
Yay, BB is back. But, baby, earlier I was introducing you and I stopped at the point where I was saying that you're a gardener. So Bibi is a gardener, and she says not just a gardener of gardener garda. If you're Kenyan, you will understand that. But she's a gardener of life too. She's a marathon runner, and she can walk and run again. She's a health enthusiast, a storyteller, wife. She's a breastfeeding advocate. She's a model. And she says her daily tea and how she fought off COVID when her husband had it helped her friends and family do. Baby is a child of war, she says. She's a refugee or a war survivor. She's a spirit thriving to live peacefully, lovingly, and kindly. Baby is a trauma survivor. She had a car accident that ended with both legs and arms broken, traumatic brain and injuries. She says she chooses pain over numbness any day, and you can ask her how. Baby says happiness is an inside job, so don't assign anyone else that much power over your life. Baby, I am absolutely looking forward to your interpretation for today's proverb that says, to be without a friend is to be poor indeed. Microphone is yours, our champion.
Thank you so much, Nakikome. And thank you, Simon. And yes, I do know the interpretation of the BB name in Swahili as I am half Ugandan and half Sudanese. So in Uganda, we may not speak the fluent Swahili, but we still do speak the broken one. So yes, I completely understood that. But anyways, actually I'm at the doctor's. I didn't think I was gonna be able to speak in, but and I did back channel the Kikombe, but I don't think he got it. But since I'm able to, I'll go ahead and share my interpretation. And I'm sure you guys have heard of the saying, iron sharpens iron. But instead of iron sharpens iron, I'm going to switch it around and say sharpen iron sharpens iron. Because the reason why I say that is there's so many wolves in sheep's clothing pretending to be sheep's. And meaning there's so many people that pretended to be your friend when they're not really your friends, and they're in your life for a season and for a want. Once they don't have, or once you don't have what they want anymore, they're gonna go on their separate ways. But if they have something that, or you have something that they want, they'll come and devour you. And that's not the kind of friends that we're talking about or want in our lives happen. When you have a true friend will challenge you when you're going down the road, the wrong path. And a true friend will also celebrate you when you have your wins. So whether it's small or big, you'll have your wins. So with that being said, let's learn to choose the right people in our lives to call friends, because friends are supposed to be there for you and you're supposed to be there for them. So it's not just a one-way trip, it's a round trip all around. And that's in all areas of life, really, not just regular life, but in business life as well. So if you choose the right ones, you live abundantly. And that's my take for today. Thank you guys so much.
Our sister BB, thank you very much. Instead of iron sharpens iron, sharpened iron sharpens iron. I couldn't put it any deeper. Thank you very much for sharing with us. Brother Simon, I'd like to pass the microphone back to you.
Wow, thank you so much, Bibi, for being here with us. And I know that you now know the meaning of Bibi, but there are two meanings of Bibi in Kiswahili. So find out the second meaning of Bibi, which I think relates so much to Zizi. I wonder if there's any Tanzanian in the room. Maybe I should just say that Bibi means wife, and Bibi also means an elderly woman in Kiswahili. So a lot of the time in Kiswahili also, Bibi can be an endearing word that you use for an elderly woman, even if it's she or she's not a relative. You could still use that word, as an endearing term. So for example, Zizi is someone that I could call bibi yangu. When you're trying to make an elderly lady feel cared for and feel loved, you use that term. Anyhow, Bibi, thank you so much for your courage, and thank you for taking the time, even though you are at a doctor's appointment, to share with us here. It really, really means so much. At this moment, we want to pass it to Ivna to close the room for us, just with a brief closing remark. But join us for the Instagram live for the recap of today's conversation, where my brother the Kikombe and I are going to talk about, just for 10-15 minutes, what stood out, what was surprising, and what was the biggest lesson. Before I pass it to Ivna to close the room, I do see really, really important friends of the Daily African Proverbs and people that I have so much love and respect for. I thank you, Johnny, for being here, and Tess, and Makuba, and Tiff, Layla, and I also see Patrice. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to give a special shout out as well to NS for being here with us, Tim, Francine, DB, thank you for being here, and Rodney, and Mr. D, I see you here as well, and Guylaine, and I also see Miss Hamilton, Dana, Hamilton is here as well. Thank you all for taking your time to join us for the daily African Proverbs. See you tomorrow for the special children's session of the daily African Proverbs. And then on Sunday, we are having the daily African Proverbs, but in the African Wisdom Club. And we will not be discussing a proverb this Sunday. We will be focusing on Zizi. Zizi is an author. For those of you who are meeting her for the first time, she's the author of a number of books. Her latest is called Rhapsody of Love. And so this Sunday, we are going to dig deep into Zizi's story and read a few excerpts from this book. So join us in the African Wisdom Club on Sunday at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And thank you, and my brother Ivna close this session out for us.
Thank you so much, Brother Simon. Oh, wow. It's been a very, it was, if I can say that, a wonderful session. The thoughts were deep. And
Hey, my brother, could you turn off the other gadget you have that might be playing the show? It's echoing.
Is it
okay,
better
go
now?
ahead.
Yes, everyone shared some really nice and thought-provoking statements, and I learned, and I like the idea that in the poem that Choma shared, acknowledging the way that a friend does things, and that was powerful. And everyone else who shared, they shared some really great ideas on friendship and love, specifically love, because there's no true friendship without love. And I wanted to end with this, and I heard someone said, a friend is someone who understands your past, believes in your future, and accepts you the way you are. And a true friend is that person. And without any love, without any goodness, there's no true friendship. And I encourage everyone who call him or herself a friend to really understand the meaning of friendship, to stand for the person that you call your friend. As Martin Luther King said, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. So if you have a friend who's going through some difficulties, if you have a friend who is being bullied, stand up for your friend, because they will not remember the words of the enemies, but the silence of their friends. So please do not be a silent friend. Thank you so much for being here. And I know all of you could be anywhere else in the world, but we were all here this morning. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Thank you very much, my brother Ivna Durosu, for being here with us for today's Daily African Proverbs, and to everybody else in the audience here on Clubhouse. Thank you so much. To everybody else on YouTube, thank you very, very much. And we will see you on Instagram shortly to wrap up our conversation today.
African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze. African father in America. Tujikaze, tujikaze, jikaze.
You are listening to African Father in America podcast by Simon.